Death in Paradise. Guess who never got out of their emo phase? Because it wasn't a phase, mom. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing the palette. Are you interrupting my video? Today I'm going to be doing the palette tag. Now I have a whole bookshelf over here holding my palettes. It's one of my, if not my favorite thing to collect makeup wise. So I have a lot of them and I just really wanted to do this because it sounded fun. I watched Emily Noel's video a few days ago go up, and I had also watched Jessica Braun. I know Kelly Gooch has done this. So the creators of this tag is Ali Glines and Samantha March, I believe. I think there's about 13 categories, so we're gonna just go ahead and jump into it. So the first category is show your newest palette. So I forgot when it was exactly. I think it was sometime last week. I actually walked into a Walgreens looking for allergy pills and did not buy those allergy pills and ended up walking out with this. This is from Wet n Wild. It is the Pride Metallic palette, and so basically it's a full palette full of metallic. So I did end up swatching this and they all swatch really nicely, but there was these two here at the bottom that I was a little disappointed in. Sometimes Wet n Wild does do this with their darker shades, is they'll look like a really pretty deep purple or green, but it's really like a dark black shadow with a like sheen of color throughout it, and so when you swatch it, it just looks really dark, and you really don't get that color that it seems like in the pans. But there's 15 shades in here. Like I said, only 2 of them I was disappointed in. All the other ones are really pretty. This blue one swatches so nicely, like smooth, really even color, and like I said, all of these are really good besides those 2 that I was disappointed in. So I'm really excited to use this palette. Okay, I had to let my dogs out, but is it really about to start raining? I'm gonna lose all my light. Okay, so the second category is show your oldest palette. Now guys, I just looked this up when I bought this palette. I'm kind of embarrassed, but this is my oldest palette. This is, or is my Lorac my oldest palette? I'll be talking about my Lorac in another category. So I got this one December 26, 2013. This is an old one. Like I said, I collect makeup, Thunder, not right now. And I think, yeah, it says I bought it here for $39. And in 2013, that was a big deal to me. This is what the palette looks like. So I think, yeah, 2013, I was just getting into higher end makeup. I had my own job. I worked at Target. I was making my own money. And so I did treat myself to this. As you can see, there's a couple of face products, some eyeshadows, and I used the shit out of this bronzer. I hit pan on it. I did like this, but I really didn't understand like shimmery bronzers back then. And I did use this blush quite a bit. A couple of, like, what looks was I making with this this color story? I don't know, but yeah, this is the Too Faced Love Sephora 15 birthday. I guess it was, I don't know if it was 15 years with Sephora or Too Faced was 15 years old. I guess Too Faced was 15 years old at the time, and yeah, they did a little collaboration and I bought it. Since 2013, that's a really long time. Third category is show your most expensive palette. So I do have 2, because one's a palette, but if we want to stick to eyeshadow palettes, I do have an option for that one as well. Are you serious? That is so expensive. So just know that I do not usually buy makeup full price, and I definitely did not buy this one full price. I definitely used Ulta points and it was on sale. Probably used a coupon, and I used my Ulta points, which kind of converts into money, so I did not buy this full price. And it doesn't even have this packaging anymore. This is the On the Glow highlighting palette by Ofra, and this is what it looks like. I'm not gonna tell you how much it is yet. So you do get 6 full-size face products. That's why I'm gonna have a different one, because if we're just counting eyeshadows, this is technically a palette, but it's a face palette. So this is the most expensive palette in general I own in my collection. So this retails for $149. I did not pay full price for this. Let me say that one more time. I did not buy this full price, but this is $149 at Ulta. But this is the most expensive palette that I have. I did have it in my kit for a while. I took it out of my kit because these powders from Ofra are so good, but they're very soft. and so I don't love traveling with them. So because one did break while I was at a makeup gig, I just took it out of my kit, and I did get the highlighters because that's what I mainly used out of this kit. I did get the highlighters in a smaller size, so that is what I have in there now. You need really good highlighters that are just melt into the skin but look really blinding. Ofra has an amazing highlighter formula, so that is why I bought this, because I wanted them full size for my kit, and then I ended up buying mini ones because how often are you really going to go through a whole highlighter? But if you want it, it's on Ulta for $149. But definitely look for a coupon, look for like sales, and also use your points because that saves you money. It's gonna look really grainy because I just lost all sunlight because a thunderstorm decided to roll up on me. So because that was a face palette, the most expensive eyeshadow palettes that I own are the Sephora Pro palettes. These go for $68 on the Sephora website. Now again, these are expensive. I did not buy them full price. This is the Sephora. This is the Sephora Pro palette in warm, and it's really pretty. I have used this on clients, I've used this on myself, and they're really great palettes. But I did buy them on sale for I think like 30 bucks each, which 30 bucks, I really don't know. But they were on sale. I caught them on sale in like one of their random sales that they have, and I picked them up because I love them. They were so hyped up when they came out, and for good reason. And then this is the second one that I have. This is the editorial palette. It's a bunch of bright colors. They're mostly pigments, pressed pigments. They're not really shadows. The formula is just straight pigment, so a lot of these brighter shades, that's what they are, but they do swatch really well. The metallics are really smooth. The pops of color, you can layer them and get them really intense. So if we're just sticking with eyeshadow palettes, these are my most expensive eyeshadow palettes, and they do run $68 each. Again, did not buy them full price. After the most expensive, show your most affordable eyeshadow palette, and Momo is looking at me through the window. They're outside in the backyard. So your most affordable eyeshadow palette, mine, and I do count palettes as 5 or more, because if there's 2 shadows, it's a duo, if it's 3, it's a trio, and if it's 4 shadows, it's a quad. And so anything 5 or more, I count as a palette. So my most affordable ones are these from Wet n Wild. I do have 4 of the ones that are in their normal line. I do have a few limited edition ones. I don't really want to talk about those because you can't get them anymore. But these are the 4 that I own. Now these do run $5.99 on the Wet n Wild website. You can also get these at Walmart, Target, pretty much anywhere that sells Wet n Wild. They're gonna sell their little eyeshadow palettes. One that I use the most out of all of them, for like a really quick look, is this one in Nude Awakening. So this one is going to be your cooler tone everyday shadow palette. This one's really pretty. The shimmers are really nice. There's a couple of flakier ones, but overall you can get a really good look out of this. You also have this one in Rose in the Air, and this one is a dupe for the Monarch Renaissance palette. If you do like that color scheme but you don't want to spend Anastasia money, this one's a really good dupe for that. They're not as intense and super creamy and pigmented, but you can get a really good look out of these. The next one I have is my Glamour Squad, and this is your warm tone eyeshadow palette. It's really pretty. The black in here is really nice. It's not going to give you a super intense black, but it does work really well. This is also really nice if you want to do like an all matte smoky eye. You can definitely get that out of this and then pop a little bit of shimmer where you want it. It does come with these 2 pinkier shades, which I thought was interesting that they put in here because you have a lot of really warm, rich browns. And to pop like pinks with that, I just thought those were 2 really interesting choices considering that there's a lot of like warm orangey browns in here. And then the last one is this one in Not a Basic Peach. It does have this really pretty blue, which we did see in that. Let's compare this blue. Okay, so this one is definitely not as intense. Very underwhelming blue. So if you like this blue, this shade of blue, the one in the Wet n Wild palette that just came out, I think they released that for Pride, which June is Pride month, and so I'm pretty sure they released it for that. If you like this blue, but this one's just a little too underwhelming because I mean you can see that that's so dusty and so dull. I think I bought most of these at Walgreens. Again, use coupons, your points wherever you can use them. Walgreens has a really good point system, so does Ulta. So if you can save money doing that, definitely try to do so. Sephora, they really don't have sales they really don't have coupons most of the time. You can try to find stuff on sale, but usually it's stuff that's not really selling very well. But that's another video. I can talk about like where you can, you know, save the most money and the best programs and the best reward systems. And I do plan on making a video like that in the future, so definitely subscribe to see that soon. All right, and the other category is show your everyday palette. So at the moment, my everyday palette, so if I could only choose one palette to use every single day, it would definitely be this one, the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I bought this years ago. It's what I have in my eyes today. It's just this really super simple look. And I have used this for like nights out where I wanted a more glam look. But this is like my all-time favorite palette. Like I can use this every single day and not get tired of using it. I can use it for everyday, simple, natural look like I have today. Or I can even use these deeper shades for a really nice glam look. So I think you can get a bunch of different looks with this. You have some pinks, a lot of neutrals, like this pop of green, some purples, and just your basic warm matte shades to complement everything and to complete a full look. This shade in Luscious is so beautiful. I just have it lightly tapped on my lid, but you can really build this on and get a really nice intense look. Lightning, I really don't need this right now. So yeah, every day I would definitely be happy to use this. Thunderstorm though. Show your most colorful palette. So my most colorful palette that I own would have to be the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. I bought this as a bundle on Black Friday. This is such a pretty palette. I think it is fun. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't reach for this palette. Maybe I'll do a look with this in the future like I did with the Blue Blood, because I didn't really reach for that either, and that video made me create a look that I actually really like. So maybe I'll use this in the future. But yeah, this has to be my most colorful eyeshadow palette that I own. So the next one is show your smallest palette. My smallest palette, actually I have two of them, and they are from Too Faced. I have a lot of Too Faced in this video. This is the chocolate chip palette, and I have the tickled peach palette. So these are super tiny. They're about the same size, but this one is a lot thinner. This one's a little thicker. So this is what the chocolate chip looks like. It's just all matte shadows. This is a mini matte version of their chocolate bar palette. This is really easy to travel with, so you can create really simple matte looks with it. So this is what the tickled peach palette looks like. I like to use this on its own. You can also pull from other palettes if you want more neutral matte shades. You can pull from the chocolate chip palette. Yeah, these are my tiniest little small palettes. Show your biggest palette. Okay, so I know we're just talking about eyeshadows, but this is my biggest palette, and I don't even know if this is considered a palette. It doesn't even say palette, it says collection. This is about 2 feet of makeup. So here you have a panel of bronzers, a panel of eyeshadows, and then you pull it out to the side. Why did it have to break? That was not nice. Oh my gosh. So with this attached to this panel, this one also slides out. If this one breaks, slides out like this, and then you have like a mirror. So technically you're supposed to be able to travel with this, but I don't really see anybody traveling with this. So you do get a full side of bronzers, highlights, lipsticks, blushes, and then this of eyeshadows. Well, I mean, if you just want the eyeshadow panel, I guess this is convenient. So this is the entire butter collection. So every single blush in that collection, every single bronzer, every single lipstick, every single highlight that they have included in that collection is in here, which I think is such a deal because this only retails for $40, and each of these bronzers is like $12. Each of the blushes like $11, and these eyeshadows, they come in palettes, and I think these run for about $12 each palette, but you get every single shade in here, every single bronzer shade, blush shade, eyeshadow shade for $40. So I did buy this at Ulta. I did use coupons. I did use my points. So I did not buy this full price, and I was broken. That was my biggest palette. Now we're going to go with show show your palette with the best memory. Like I said, back in 2013, I started getting into higher end makeup. I had my own job, I had my own money, so I was able to buy myself things that my parents would not buy me. So the palette with the best memory has to be this Lorac Pro palette. I think I bought it even before the 2013 one. So okay, so this is where it gets a little iffy. I remember buying this. I had a friend that she worked at Ulta and she was really into makeup. Shout out to Celeste. She was like my makeup bestie. We also wore the same foundation shade, so we would like share stuff. This really makes me think of all the times that we spent together playing with makeup, talking about makeup, getting really into it together. And we met in cosmetology school, and I remember this, you know, this was something that we both really wanted, and I think we both ended up getting it. I used the heck out of this. This was my first high-end eyeshadow, full eyeshadow palette. So the whole concept of these pro palettes was the top row was all matte shadows, and then the bottom row was all shimmers. This brings back a lot of memories of just having a ton of like makeup talk and just the times that I spent with her. And yeah, she lives in California now with her husband, so we really are not as close as we used to be, but this definitely brings back a lot of memories, and we did some stupid shit together. Okay, so the next one is show a palette worth the hype. I have to give it to Modern Renaissance. This was so hyped up for good reason. I ended up buying it for my birthday, I think. I bought this for myself for my birthday, and I loved this palette so much. That's when really warm, rosy shades were really in, and this was definitely the palette for that look. But this is definitely worth the hype. It's still, you know, still available. You can still get your hands on this. And yeah, I think it's an amazing palette. The packaging I don't really love. It's like this like soft like suede packaging, and it gets so gross and dirty, and like dust just like clings to it, but the inside is what counts, and this is really, really good. I'll show the palette that you don't think is worth the hype. So not worth the hype is definitely, I'm sorry, a lot of you might come for me, because it was just so hyped up, and I was like, yeah, like it looks like a palette that I would reach for, it looks like a palette that I would use all the time, and it is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. Now, I was very underwhelmed when I got this palette. When I used it, it looks really pretty on camera. Like people creating looks with this, like their looks just look so pretty on them. I don't know why, but I've never like really loved any of the looks I created out of this palette. I tried to love it. The shimmers are like kind of lackluster. They're kind of flaky. They're not super like pigmented. I can definitely get looks out of this, but I'm not anything that I'm gonna be like, oh my god, you have to run out and get this palette for. So for those reasons that I really can't explain, I don't think it's worth the hype. The packaging is pretty, it's really sleek. You can pull the mirror all the way back, so if you want to lay it flat, it won't take up too much room. I think the color story is beautiful. I don't know why, I just can't get a look that I absolutely love out of this. All right. All right, show your favorite palette from your favorite brand. So, ColourPop creates my all-time favorite eyeshadow formula. And my favorite palette from them is So Jaded. I think the concept of this palette is so beautiful. The concept of this, I'm really into like zodiac and like crystals and stuff. I have like 2 huge chunks of amethyst over there on my bookshelf. I'm not super into it, like I can't really tell you everything about them. Yeah, I'm really into like zodiac, so I do have her zodiac palette, but this one hands down is my favorite. And this is the So Jaded palette. All the names of this has to do with certain gemstones and crystals, and I just think it's such a pretty palette. Like you can actually get so many different looks out of this. My all-time favorite shadow, which I want to say one of the ones from the Wet n Wild Shimmer palette is a dupe for it, is this one in diamond. Like they just need to release like a full size of this diamond shade, because I would bathe in it. This shade is so freaking pretty. I love this shade. Honestly, all of these are so pretty. Like I've created so many different looks with this palette, and I've loved every single one of the looks that I've been able to create. The shimmers in here are amazing. This one in Moonstone is so pretty. Like I have a huge dent in it because I've just used it so much. The mattes in here blend really well. All the colors you can create, just like you could just create so many different looks, and they're all really pretty. If you want a cool tone look, if you want a warm tone look, if you want a colorful look, if you want like this really pretty reds and yellows, if you want blues and greens, and You could just create literally any look with this and everything's gonna look absolutely stunning. Show your most used palette. So at the moment, I have not been doing super crazy looks. I've been going super minimal, kind of emphasizing the blush and bronzer. I've been really into like complexion lately. So my most used palette at the moment is this one from Salmon Cold. I bought it from Ulta and I thought it was gonna be so much bigger than what it is, but it's actually this tiny little baby palette. So out of this palette, I mainly use these down the middle, this gold shade, this cream shade. Sometimes I like to mix these three shades if I want more of a cool tone look. And this green is actually really pretty with this brown, even with this pink. But this shifting shade is kind of weird in here. I kind of expected it to be more of like the diamond shade from the So Jaded palette, but it kind of has this weird gold sheen, and I kind of was expecting it to be, I don't know, kind of like the So Jaded. So this is supposed to like shift your mattes to like a shimmer, but it kind of just puts like a gold top coat onto them. So this is like a topper shade. It's not really a shifter shade. You're supposed to be able to mix it in with other stuff, but I don't know, it's not my favorite. But I do really love the matte formula in this palette. It blends really easy. I usually mix these two together, throw a little bit of this into the outer corner, lower lash line, pop this golden lid, and I'm good to go. If I need to clean anything up or make sure something is blended, this cream shade is really good. But this is just a really great go-to palette for a really quick, fast look. Yeah, I've been using this all the time since I bought it. I think those are all the categories. Yeah, those are definitely all the categories. Okay guys, so I think that does it for this video. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe for more. I upload every single Friday. Go ahead and follow me on my socials at Corina MUA. I'll put it right here in the screen. And like always, if you ever want to see more of anything that you see in these videos, go ahead and put it in the comments below. Comment what your favorite palette is at the moment. I am a palette whore, so definitely let me know what palettes you are loving right now. All right guys, that is it for this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.